Dr. Leslee Keys has distinguished herself in the field of preservation as someone who helps communities with almost every aspect of preservation, from resource documentation to fundraising and everything in between. She shares her knowledge and talents freely, especially in the area of disaster resilience. Throughout her 45-year career, she has proven that creative solutions and hard work can solve some of preservation's biggest challenges. In 1980, Dr. Keys was hired by the city of Dayton, Ohio as their preservation planner. At only 24 years old, she and her husband bought and rehabilitated an uninhabitable shell in the city's oldest neighborhood. A wild success, the house was featured on the cover of Parade magazine, and Dr. Keys was recognized as Employee of the Year by the city of Dayton. As the executive director of Riverside Avondale Preservation, she secured survey and planning grants from the Florida Division of Historical Resources. These projects resulted in the National Register listing for 2 neighborhoods. Dr. Keys understood the importance of community engagement in historic preservation before it was talked about. Under Dr. Keys' leadership, the Holiday Luminaria event was conceived and continues to draw participation from thousands of people. In 1989, Dr. Keys was honored as Kentucky Colonel for her management of the Farnsley Mormon House. The neglected property was transformed into a living history farm and centerpiece of heritage tourism and economic development for Southwest Jefferson County. The project would not have happened without her efforts in securing $1 million in corporate and grant support. Upon returning to Florida, Dr. Keys worked in the area of disaster preparedness and recovery for the state's Department of Historical Resources. Later, she began teaching preservation at Flagler College in St. Augustine. During this time, Dr. Keys was appointed to serve as the state's liaison for the Viva Florida 500 program and for the St. Augustine 450th commemoration. Dr. Keys' work in preservation education continued as she developed a historic St. Augustine course and supported students in the creation of a Flagler College tour in honor of the institution's 50th anniversary. NAPC also benefited from Dr. Keys' expertise in preservation education. She co-created NAPC's signature Commission Assistance and Mentoring Program, or CAMP, and continues working with communities across the country today as a CAMP trainer. Dr. Keys has been at the forefront of the issue of disaster resilience. She has spoken and taught at events and institutions in the U.S. and abroad and is regarded as an esteemed leader in this area. Her work has also focused on making preservation more inclusive and representative of all people. Dr. Keys prepared the National Register nomination for the St. Augustine Beach Hotel and Beachfront, a property listed for national civil rights significance as a site of the wade-ins to integrate the Florida beaches. While working at Flagler College, she also partnered with the National Park Service to create a more complete and representative history of St. Augustine and Fort Marion Castillo de San Marcos. Dr. Keys has devoted her life to historic preservation and, most importantly, sharing it with others. She has made nearly 100 presentations in 84 cities throughout 16 states and Washington, D.C., and assisted communities in securing over $47 million in funding for preservation projects. The National Alliance of Preservation Commissions is proud to award the John and Sue Renaud Award for national, state, tribal leadership to advance historic preservation at the local level to Dr. Leslee Keys.